Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the magnanimous, the enigmatic, the completely full of himself, Dr. Yukon Suckit. That's right, Dr. Yukon Suckit. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. So let's see. Today I am continuing with the farewell tour of cards that will rotate out of Standard in September. Let's see, for the sake of this conversation, the cards that are that way are ones from, let's see, Strixhaven, Forgotten Realms, Kaldheim, and, I'm missing what the fourth one was there. It's, Zendikar. That's what it was, Zendikar. So those are the sets that are rolling out. And so I'm trying to put together, I'm not putting them together, I'm finding decks that are made entirely out of cards from those sets, which is giving us an opportunity to really focus on those cards because we've only got another like 2 months and then they are gone. In this case, we found elf tokens over at Aether Hub. I did have to tinker with it a little bit. It was a little short-sighted, didn't provide enough control. So I've added some control to it. So it's a SELESNYA deck, meaning that it's made up of green and white. The tokens part is because it generates a lot of tokens, and elf tokens because there's a bunch of elves in this deck, and most of the tokens you generate will be elves. So let's take a look at the cards in here. Let's see if we can figure out how it works, and then we'll take it out on the track and see how well it does. At the low end, we've got an elf, and he's a 1/1 for 1, and he is capable of hitting people in the chest. Look at him go, all John Wick style there, right? Actually, I think John Wick usually went around and shot people. But yeah, he's super fast. It says, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you put a +1 counter. So this guy is a grower. As long as you got enough cheap spells to cast, and you got, what is this, like 2/3 of your deck in the 1 and 2 category. Matter of fact, if we take a look here, we got a 2.1 average, meaning it's a very cheap deck. Then your chances of being able to blow this guy up seem pretty good. Over here, we got Paladin class. And this card is instrumental to this deck. You know, it's only 1 white to put out. Spells your opponents cast during their turn cost 1 more to cast, which keeps blue guys from doing things. You know, red and black trying to do creature kills as an instant will cost them 1 additional. This will help you out. Secondly, for 3, it turns into a Glorious Anthem, which gives all of your creatures +1/+1, which for a Horde deck is fantastic. Then when you can finally scrounge together 5 mana, you might be able to do level 3. Whenever you attack until the end of your turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature, and that creature gains double strike. So that is tremendous. You just got to hope you got somebody that has trample on them, right? And we'll keep our eyes open for trample. The other good thing is we're flying. And I can see a flying guy right there. All right, so then we get into Blizzard Brawl. This is what I added to the deck because it's from Kaldheim, and we needed to kill folks. That's what we needed to do. So for 1 green, choose target creature you control and target creature you do not control. If you control, basically, those two fight each other, right? If you control 3 or more snow permanents, which you will, then the creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible till the end of the turn. Now, your guys aren't going to be particularly all that super strong, so that's not going to help you out too much against large creatures. But it will help out if you happen to have out your Blightblade, because this guy's got Death Touch, and Death Touch and Blizzard Brawl go together like peanut butter and jelly. So good luck with that, right? We've got Jaspera Sentinel. So this is a mana elf, as in he's also got reach. You get him out, he's got his big old butt, and he will defend the skies, keeping you from being blown over and attacked. Worst case scenario, you can tap an untapped creature you control, other than this guy, because you got to tap him as well, to add 1 mana of any color, which most likely will be white, because if you have green, to play this guy, you've already got green. Like we were talking about, the Tajuru Blightblade, he is a 1/1 for 1, but he's got Death Touch. And as you can see, he likes to wipe that poison all over his blade, and he's got it all over. He's got all these pouches all over his legs and belt like he's a 90s X-Man. And he is looking to kill. He works well with the Blizzard Brawl. Other than that, he's a great blocker. You try to attack people, you just avoid them. Good stuff going on with that. We got Elvish Warmaster. So for as badass as he is, he's really just a pregnant elf. He's just waiting for some other elf to come along, at which point he's going to pump out another baby. Of course, all their babies are 1/1 elf warriors, but in complete fighting form upon being birthed out. But this guy does it. So you get a 2/2 for 2, which is good. Whenever one or more other elves enter the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 elf token creature token. But that only happens once per turn. Then if you got 7 mana, elves you control get +2/+2 and death touch until the end of turn. So yeah, good luck getting up to 7 mana. I mean, you got mana elves, so maybe, right? Just the problem is these guys require you to tap some other creature to be able to do it. And those guys would all be pumped up to by +2. Really, I want this dude pumped up by +2 so he can finally earn his keep and go out there and kill for me. Kill, kill, kill. All right, we got Sculptor of Winter. And she will, untap target snowlands. So therefore, you got one of your snowlands, you tap it, and use her to untap it. So therefore, you could tap it again, giving you 2 mana. So she's essentially a mana elf. Essentially. But she's also a 2/2 for 2, which is really good. Because then you can start pumping her up with some of the other elf-born transactions right there. We got the Resplendent Marshal. Now, this is not an elf, and it is not a token. So it's like, hey, what is this guy doing in here? Well, apparently what the deal is, this guy's a guy, he's a for 3, you get a flying 3/3. Great. Also, he's double white. It makes it hard to play him, right? But when he enters the battlefield or dies, the Resplendent Marshal, you may exile another creature card from your graveyard, which is most likely going to be an elf. When you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control other than Resplendent Marshal that shares a creature type with the exiled card. So if you throw away an elf, then all your elves get +1/+1. If you exile out something that's a warrior, then it'll do all the warrior cards. They'll get +1/+1, which is not any of those. If you get rid of an elf warrior, it'll give +1/+1 to all elves and all warriors. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking for there, right? Other than that, you got a flying 3/3, which ain't bad, right? So we got the Battle of Bretagard. On the first turn, you create a human warrior token. On the second turn, you create a elf warrior token. And on the third turn, you choose any number of artifact tokens and or creature tokens you control with different names. And for each of them, create a token that's a copy of it. So all these tokens you've been creating, you get to pretty much double them up. Of course, they all have to have double names or duplicate names, but still are not duplicate names. They have to have individual names. One has to be named Steve, the other one has to be Bob. Make sure you do that early and frequent. But anyway, so you get to generate a bunch more tokens. Hopefully, you'll have the Paladin class pumping out +1s. Got a couple of them out. That'd be fantastic-er. Let's see, we got Squad Commander, who enters the battlefield. Create a 1/1 white core warrior token field for each creature in your party. Parties are made up of clerics, rogues, warriors, and wizards. I don't believe we have any wizards in this thing. Here's a warrior. Here's a warrior. Here's a rogue. Warrior, rogue. Monk, which is not in a party at all. So it looks like the most you can get out of this guy would be 2, because it'd be warriors and rogues. But at least you get 2 other dudes, right? At the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you have a full party, so that'll never happen. Yeah, I am still hit or miss on this guy. I'm not sure if there's anything better. It seems like there should be. Just because you're never going to get a full party. All you're going to get out of is some additional tokens, which potentially you can copy with the Battle for Bretagard. Lastly, I put in here the Doom Scar. I was just having some problems where if this deck doesn't go fast enough and kill, then you needed a Doom Scar to refresh the board, giving you a chance to recover faster than they are, and then you come back in to finish them off. We've got 7 white snow-covered lands, 9 green snow-covered lands, 4 dual green and white snow-covered lands, and some fast lands, both of the green and white variety. Nothing in the sideboard. So yeah, this deck is all about popping out elves, popping out elf babies, getting them as pumped as you can make it, and slamming into doing damage as much as you can. hopefully this deck will turn out well, and we'll have some fun. Let's see how well it goes. And we're playing against DFS 88. All right, we got 3 mana, and it looks pretty good. Let's keep it. There, I'm gonna start off a little on that fast side, so I can put a guy out. Go burn us into this guy, but we can start playing some slow dudes right there. It's funny, you never see those at all. Mono black. Go for it. Johnny Blightblade. What are we getting here? We get a human warrior. We get an elf warrior. Yeah, no blocks. We're cool. So I'm going to go for the squad commander. There we go. That's looking good. Is it time for a Blood on the Snow? I guess you need 6 for that. Nice Moonhook Massacre. That goes a long way. And we just got screwed over. All right, we'll do this. I needed that white, didn't I? Here comes a Sentinel. Ooh, that's an expensive shot. I guess he's taking another 4 points of damage at me. Worth doing. All right, looks like I have to speed bump. I have to kill those dudes. Of course, he's got something tricksy in his hand. There's like a 80% likeliness that's going to happen. And another trick. There we go. Well, those Meathook Massacres have massacred me. Is there any sort of solution for that in this deck? Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's pretty much just speed, speed, speed. That would have been nice to have some creatures out for that. I only have one option here, and that's it. All right, no creatures, no creatures. That means we're essentially tied. Yeah, we're tied right now. Don't pay attention to life. There, now I have a creature, therefore I'm ahead. I'm winning. And that's it. Game over, man. Game over, man. Dead. We're playing against Dale Gribble, 707. We got 2 mana and some mana elves right there. We'll keep it. Second spell elf, okay. Alright, it's blue instead of purple pink. Monk of the open hand. Touch your dog in the head. Guess who's gonna beef up? Monk of the open hand. Alright, let's go swirl around up here. Bonk, bonk. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mono blue does not have the ability to wipe the board that way. Victory! They're playing against Michael Pawley. Miguel Pawley. We got 2-ish mana. Let's keep it. Let's start off with a little white, which will get us into the Paladin class. Come on, are they playing the same thing I'm playing? You shall find out. Needs 7 mana to activate his ability. You get yourself 3 mana there. Oh, except for you can't figure out how to make it work. Because this guy needs to be able to tap something else. That's right. Alright, I can make him into a 3/3, or I could just put something else out. Let's put out another Warmaster. We're growing like mold. There you go. I don't think I'm getting up to 7 mana, though. Death touch. He's just going to play defense for a while, I'm sure. Oh, it only activates once per turn. All right, well, that's cool. Let's see. Let's just chill out. I'm still going to go with these two. We're going to get Death Touch, but whatever, that has to happen at some point. All right, how many guys we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 2. I could birth some more babies here in a little bit, but I'm going to have to start going for it. Because the amount of damage, if he blocks the 3s, I've got 8. I've got 10. I got lethal. Unless he puts out another blocker. Alright, he's out of mana, which is great. He's got a 3-2. Okay, so I go in for the attack. He's going to block things, but everything but one guy is going to die, which is pretty space awesome. Still not getting a 4th mana, though. This will get us another dude. Go in for the attack, all of it. Got to get rid of the pregnant elf. See, the real problem here is Paladin class. There we go. That's looking great. Time for him to wipe the board. I'm fairly certain he's just going to give up at this point. But what can mono green do at this point? He needs life gain like crazy. He needs to wipe out the board like crazy. Play something that doesn't allow him to lose? Gallagreeder's not going to do it. I didn't even recognize he had a bat over here. Oh. Alright, what are we doing in the dungeon here? Target creature can't attack until your next turn. That's what it is. Still, I mean... There. There you go, he's got 4 life. Alright, I got 6 dudes. He can block 2. He's getting a minimum of 6 damage. Alright! Victory! Alright, playing against what is this? Tydu. Alright, we got 4 mana. Blizzard Brawl and a Blightblade. That's pretty awesome. I need 3. I got plenty of that. Keep. Alright, we're playing against somebody on their phone. That looks familiar. Yeah, I'm not going to do that yet. I gotta wait till these chill. Till I can protect them a bit. I need to kill at least 2 people with them. Connive, huh? He's going for it. I'm going to totally Blizzard Brawl that dude. Snow, snow. And we got another one. And he's got another one. Okay, well, I'm not going to get 2 mana out of that, am I? I don't even have another guy in the graveyard. But I believe that Resplendent Marshal is probably our next best move. Just so that we can get some flying going on here. No attacks. Unblockable, though. I'm not going to be able to block with the Blightblade. So I should have attacked with him. That's what I should have done. There's no way he would have blocked him. Keep throwing your cards away. He's got vigilance? How's he getting vigilance there? Anyways, 1 and 2. Go for it. You don't like those death touchers, do you? Apparently you think they're just fine. Like to get some action going on here. It'll be a little bit faster. It'd be nice. You think he's got a counterspell in his hand? We will find out after I poke this dragon in the eye. Wake up! Wake up in there! Who? He's at it again. Suck it! I got a Resplendent Marshal. It's going to make you guys feel better. It's a temporary, though, until a turn. Oops, I should have built the sculptor first. Didn't think about it. I was so wrapped up on everything that had happened before my last turn. Why didn't they get pluses? Oh, those are cores. They're not elves. Oh, that's disappointing. All right, we got lethal on the board. But he's got lifelink showing. I will sacrifice everything to kill something with lifelink. All right, you're going to have to at least lose one of your guys. Not necessarily. You could just block the 1/1. There you go. Got you down to 1 in turn. There was a little Spanish flea, a rock and roll star he would be. Just like the Beatles he heard of and the Chipmunks he saw on TV. There was a little Spanish flea. Alright, this is my least favorite part of Arena. We're going to sit here and watch somebody rope out while they're trying to consider what to do. The worst part is a lot of times they use all their time and they do come up with a plan, and it sucks. My favorite one, though, is when we spend all this time and then at the end of it, they just give up. I kind of wish they'd just sort of give up earlier. It would be cool. But he's... All right. Let's take it in. Dude, I am going to attack. You are going to lose a guy. You'll gain some life out of the deal, though. You're phasing him out, huh? That's not cool. I think you're dead. Oh, wait. You're going to gain 4. But maybe if I kill you first, does that matter? You should have blocked with them first. Now I'm going to have to kill everything. Except for he's going to phase out. Alright, so I got 11. He's got... It's going to be 0, but he'll have 2. Yeah, I can last. I can live through it. I'd really like to pull up another creature at this point, just so I can be prepared to come after it. But if he gets a little too vicious on me here, I'm going to have to pull the trigger. No, it's still just land. Okay. Next to combat. If you kill the Marshal, I will Doomscar. So I'm not even bothering to foretell the Doomscar there, because then he'll know I got something kooky going on. Let's go, Tydu. I like that name a lot. I think more people should be named Tydu. It's got a nice ring to it. And we win! That was sort of weirdly anticlimactic. But anyways, victory! Alright, here we are with... What is this? The Farewell Tour of Elf Tokens. Boy, it's weird. You don't see this deck anymore. Apparently it's fell out of fashion, but it's still a good deck. It seems to be holding up fairly well. You know, like originally this deck, when I got it off of Aether Hub, it did not have any of the removal in there. It didn't have Blizzard Brawl, didn't have Doomscar, but I added those in. And those cards are part of the Farewell Tour. So say goodbye to two of the greatest cards in Magic cards today. In Standard, you'll still be able to play them casually amongst your friends, but you will not be playing them in Standard. So let's talk about this deck. What was great about it? You know, it wasn't like any particular. It was the fact that this thing could pump out lots of elves. I mean, that is still going on today. Yeah, actually, without like Elvish Warmaster, elf decks are going to be really hindered. This dude was space awesome. I call him the pregnant elf, because when he's out there and any other elf enters the battlefield under your control, you create another elf token. And that, that just triggers it off for him. And you had two of him out, because I'm surprised this guy wasn't a legendary. Because he seems like he should only be one out at a time. The fact that then that one pumps off another one, and so you're generating even more elves that are going on. And what I really loved was Paladin class, where with only 3 mana, you're able to turn it into a Glorious Anthem, getting all your elves up, by additional +1/+1. So, and I didn't even read the last thing for 5. That's not that bad. You can get to 5. The only thing I don't like is that there are some non-elf creatures in here that look like elves. I'm looking at you, Squad Commander. Because, I just thought you were some sort of weird, like, albino elf. And then it turns out you were not an elf at all. So I'm not exactly sure even why this guy was in here. When you're about to create a 1/1 code, because just puts out another token, maybe? I guess. The big thing was the battle for Bedford. Choose a number of artifact tokens or creatures you have with different names, and then make a copy of them. So maybe that's what it's all about. That's what the theme was. I just thought of this as being an elf deck because there are so many elves in here. But, it's called Elf Tokens. Just this guy's the big weirdo. I'm not exactly sure why he's in there. But, he is going to be rotating out, in September. So it's time to say goodbye. Doomscar. God, I needed this card so bad. I first was playtesting this thing. It sucked that, you would get out there and then they would just get overwhelming. And even though you wipe out your own dudes, this deck can recover pretty quickly and have a bunch of elves ready to go a couple turns later. So I was able to wipe the board and recover, and it wasn't too bad. I think it was like the last game or something. I was getting to the point where I was trying to prepare my hand for that kind of an action, and I just kept pulling lands, and that was bad. That was the shuffler just trying to scare me there. Resplendent Marshal. That guy, I liked him quite a bit. Flying 3/3. And the fact that when it comes into play, you're able to sacrifice or exile something in your graveyard to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that shared something with the exiled card. Usually it was elf. Unfortunately, yeah, I picked whatever I picked didn't have warrior in the name. I think I probably put elf rogue there. Elf rogue, elf monk, elf warrior. It would have been Elvish Warmaster, would have been the only one I could have done. That would have pumped out these cores there. So yeah, I mean, it works out well. So let's talk about this one. Is this deck competitive? And I'm going to say no. I don't think you climb the ladder with it too much. It is a good deck. You can get your wins in. And I think with a little bit more tinkering, it would be even better. But like I said, this thing's going to the graveyard. Every card in here has only got a couple months left. If you're interested in playing, you can make this slightly better, I bet, and probably make it semi-competitive. So I'm going to give it a no as is for right now. I'm not going to say that it's not competitive. You're going to lose all the time. I'm just saying that it's not competitive enough for you to climb the ladder with, right? Was it fun? I did like it. I liked it. I'm not sure I'd call it fun. I really did like seeing the elves just sort of explode out and get powerful, and was able to like swarm in, swarm. But was it fun? I'm going to hem on it just a smidge. I'm going to give it 3/4 of a point for that, right? And then lastly, did it have a theme? I'm going to go hardcore. Yes, it was an elf. Yes, it was token. It was an elf token theme deck. Absolutely. I bought it. I felt it. I was good with that. I mean, the only person I didn't like was Squad Commander, but, you know, he does fit in a loose sort of way. So I'm going to give this one a strong check mark for theming. But when it comes to competitiveness and fun, it's down a point between the two of them. So what am I going to rate this deck? I'm going to give it a B+ is what I'm going to give it. I'm not quite up to the A level. Otherwise, it would have got an A-. But I'm going to give it a B+. I'm just going to say it's in that category. So it's not something that's going to be you're going to be able to play the ladder with. But for something you're going to have fun with, and that potentially you can tinker your way up into an A category, absolutely. This thing is just, it's on the bleeding edge of becoming a very decent deck. So anyways, that was Elf Token, and I hope you give it the time of day because it can be a very fun deck. If Selesnya, token generation, and Elf Pump is your bag, baby, then I hope you have more fun with this deck than I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, hasta la vista, baby. See ya.